we're going to be talking about introverts and extroverts in a relationship. And if your husband or your fiance is an introvert, or if your mate is an extrovert, how that affects your relationships with each other and when you guys are hanging out with friends. So Sabrina, did you want to start? Which one of you is an introvert and which one's an extrovert? Or are you both one?
I think anybody who's probably ever met me would say that I'm like definitely the extrovert in general, and like in my relationship too. And my husband is definitely more of an introvert, but I think that's kind of shifted a little bit over the last couple of years. We've been married for 2.5 years, and exactly, I guess 2.5 years ago, maybe a little bit less than that, I started working from home. And so I was pretty much by myself all the time. And so I think that made me become a little more, I don't want to say introverted, but it made me a little more, I don't know, cautious when I was around other people. Like, I wasn't so quick to, like, I don't know, be maybe as talkative as I normally am. And around the same time, my husband got a job that basically kind of forced the extrovert out of him, but in like a good way. But I think, you know, he's quieter when we're around like other people, and I think sometimes people that have quiet personalities, they can kind of be read the wrong way. Like, people can look at them and think that they're like uninterested in what's happening, or they don't really, you know, want to be a part of the conversation. And so I think with his work and with us just being together so much, I think he's kind of realized that a little bit more, and realizes too that, like, it's not that he's uninterested, it's just that he happens to have like a, you know, more like laid back and quiet personality. At least 9 out of 10 times when people from like my family or my group of friends meet him, without fail, somebody will say, "Oh my God, your husband is so quiet." And I want to be like, no, he's not. But it's just like, you know, because that's how he is in front of other people. But obviously at home, you know, it's like your comfort zone with your family and your friends. You're in your own comfort zone. So it's, you know, obviously you're going to be a lot different there. But I think because this is kind of all we've ever known, I guess in some ways we sort of just like balance each other out.
John and I are actually both extroverts. We went to high school with each other, so we knew each other our senior year, and then we separated, you know, went to college and whatnot. And then I think it was the year after I graduated, a lot of my friends came back home from college, so we all started hanging out again. We'd always go out and we drink and we talk, and, you know, we never really spoke to each other, but we always were a part of, you know, that kind of culture where we just were outgoing and whatnot. And I think it's because we knew everyone there. And when we started dating and introducing, you know, him to my other friends, he knew almost all my friends because we all went to high school with each other. The only people that, you know, it was just an interesting dynamic because there was never too many people where it was the first time he's ever met them, except for my family. But he's a very much outgoing person, just like I am, so he has no problem talking to, you know, someone else's husband that he's never met before. And I remember in high school when I dated and all my friends dated, and I'm not sure if you guys would have had experienced this, but whenever all the girls would get together, all the guys would try to make awkward conversation, and it just would be miserable. They never wanted to go out as a group, and it always bothered me because in high school, it's all about the social, you know, aspect of everything. And a couple of years ago, we had a gathering at my friend's house, and all the husbands all hung out the entire time with each other. They kind of like, you know, went away did their own thing. They were, you know, having some beers, talking about whatever. And it was so great to look back and say, you know, that's why it didn't work in high school with anyone we ever dated, because they were not extroverts. They could not just randomly, you know, converse with strangers that they've never met. But now all of our husbands, they all are outgoing. They all don't mind talking about anything from a random sports game or, you know, what's going on at work, you know, just stuff that is what I expect when you meet strangers, that you make small talk and enjoy.
I always say that I'm a situational extrovert. I'm not always like the most outgoing person at the party. I've kind of made it more of a practice or an effort to be more of an extrovert. And because of my job and the field that I'm in, I more have to play the role of the people person, and talk to various people about any number of different things. So it's a good practice for me to actually go out and mingle with people, but that's not always my personality. But with Ronald, like, he's always the life of the party. Like, we could go somewhere and he wouldn't know anybody, and everyone is his best friend. Like whenever we go out to like a bar or something, like he's the guy that everyone's buying shots for. And I'm like, do you even know these people? And he's like, no, I just met them. They're really cool though, you should talk to them. And I'm like, okay, like that's just how he is. And I think that being in this relationship with him has helped me become more of an extrovert, and trying to engage more often with people. So who's the introvert and extrovert in your family, and how does that affect what you guys do on a nightly basis or how you interact with each other? We'd love to hear your thoughts.